Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of this new podcast. I'm delighted to have Mr. Muthu Sekkar from Hailstone Innovations Private Limited. This is an organization based out of basically Palakkad, Kerala. Hailstone has been operating since last 29 years, and they in the last few years they have been expanding across India as well as abroad. So it's a very interesting journey. To share more details about this organization, we have Mr. Muthu Sekkar, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Hailstone Innovations Private Limited. He will take us through the journey of Hailstone of last 29 years, and also he'll share with us the plans for the Excon 2023, where they are going to display a lot of their products. Mr. Muthu Sekkar, thank you so much to be part of this conversation today. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra, and once of viewers. So good morning, all of you, and thanks once again. So it's quite interesting to discuss with Dr. Mishra, because even before the start of the program, I could learn about your entrepreneurship and your the sales and marketing activities, what you have done in Redken and what you have done in JCB. Like I was always mentioning that JCB is always a kind of a scale or a yardstick for me in terms of how the business is going to be for the other products. So thank you.
Okay, so to take our conversation, it would be also a learning journey for me, because I would love to know a little more about this wonderful organization based out of Palakkad. So take us through the journey of Hailstone first, and then we'll move on to Excon discussion.
Yeah. Hailstone Innovations, the name itself denotes hail the stone. So that means salute the stone. So that's the meaning. And innovations is basically, we just don't, produce a product. We also innovate in terms of, I will tell about what are the innovations we have done. Couple of innovations Hailstone has done in our history of 29 years. We started in 1994 in a modest way in Thrissur, doing small fabrication activities and machine repair shops, and repairing the crushers, and setting up the second-hand plants, supporting from abroad, bringing the plants, and the whole 29 years. The focus has been only into the crushing, screening, washing, mining, recycling solutions. So our managing director, Mr. Williams, he hails from Thrissur. Thrissur is one of in Kerala's entrepreneurship place, like Ludhiana, or like Coimbatore, this kind of places where a lot of budding entrepreneurs come, and they take the companies not just pan India but even globally also. So that's the way our Mr. Williams set up this company. He's a first-time entrepreneur from his family, and he's the single owner of this Hailstone Innovations company, and he has a very deep knowledge in terms of new product development, and that's his core competency. And today we are close to a 300 crore company with about 350 employees, having about 4 plants in Kerala, and 3 plants are the mother plants, which started in 1994 and slowly migrated where all the machining, cutting, fabrication activities takes place. And about 4 or 5 years ago, we started a plant in Palakkad. It's one of a masterclass infrastructure what we have. It's equal to any Europe or any American kind of an industry, where we have a conveyor line assembly, and the infrastructure is close to about 200,000 square feet area. So total about 2.5 lakh square feet area what we have, putting across all the other units of Hailstone. So where we make complete assembly of all the crushing equipments. So normally a crushing starts with the primary crusher, which is called a jaw crusher. Then you have a secondary crusher, which is called as a cone crusher. In cone, you have coarse cone and you have a fine cone. And the territory is basically an VSI, where the shape of the product and where you get the sand. And after the territory, you get the tail end management, where you need to do the washing, you need to do the screening activity. Then after the screening activity, then you need to do the slurry management, the tail end activity. So that means you look at the value chain of producing an M sand. M sand is a manufactured sand. P sand is a plastered sand, and aggregates are basically the stones which starts from 60 size, then 40 size, 20 size, then 10 and 6 and below 6 or below 5 precisely is called the sand. See, as the industry, the economy revolution takes place, and there is an growth in terms of infrastructure, whatever kind of building, whatever kind of roads, airports, you need basically the aggregates, the stone aggregates. Even for railway network, you need a little larger stone. And when it comes to the road, the foundation laying, you need a larger stone. Then you need a medium stone, small stone. Then for concrete, you need a very small stone, and then you need the size I'm talking about, and you need the manufactured sand. And you cannot, go with the against the mother nature and take out the river sand and use it, which is going to harm the mother nature, and environmental problems and erosions and other thing takes place. So with the economy growing, the only option available is basically artificially produce the sand. And sand is like a byproduct which is coming out, because anyway you need the stones. So when you need the stones, then automatically some portion of the stone, maybe 10%, 20%, or 30%. Some people go for even more than 30% to produce only the sand. That depends on the market, that depends on the demand, that depends on the value of the product in that particular area. So whether you need a complete M sand to be produced, or you produce the aggregates and you produce also the manufactured sand. What's the very important thing is, even if on the river sand you would not be sure whether the river sand is a original river sand or it is coming from the sea erosion and sea sand, where there is a salt content mix available. Or the gradation of the sand also, you're not sure when you get from the river sand, because it's just excavated and the sand is brought for the construction purpose. But when it comes to the manufactured sand, you have all the precise controls available through the our equipments, machines, and that's where you get the perfect shape and perfect gradation. Why the perfect shape is important is, when you have a perfect shape of the stone, like a gold stone, what happens is the bonding becomes better, and the less cement quantity it takes. And more than that, the cracks don't appear on the wall or on the concrete surface. So looking at all this, the manufactured sand and the manufactured or the artificial stone aggregates, what we take out from the rocks and the overburden material. So this is actually going to help the economy, and it is going to help the industry. And I always give an economic calculation. Like, for example, if it is going to be 100 rupee for a river sand of a certain quantity, then, you look at the manufactured sand or the artificial sand, which is produced from the stones, which is approximately 50 rupees, just a ballpark figure. And if you are going to take out the overburden material, like it could be a limestone overburden material, it could be a coal overburden material. What is overburden? I'll give a small note. If you are digging the mother earth and you are taking a coal, iron ore, or aluminium or bauxite, or any of the ore materials, when you take out, which if it is going to be 1 ton, there is at least 4 to 5 times of the the mud or the overburden material has to be taken. So for 1 ton, you are already having about 4 or 5 tons of it's a kind of a waste material, and it is heaped and kept on side of the company or the mine area. Number one, it causes pollution. Number two is, there is an soil erosion, and during rain or storm it comes down. And number three is, it's occupying the space. The particularly, if the land cost is, going up, and for expansions, no land is available, but this heap is available. And this overburden material, if you are converting it to, some kind of small aggregate stones, and you are converting it to M sand or the plaster sand, the cost is going to be 25 rupees. So where is 100 rupee river sand? Where is 50 rupee, your manufactured, or your the stone sand, and 25 rupees is your overburden, like limestone. Cement is, limestone is taken, and there is a heap available in many of the cement companies and cement mines. Same is the case with coal and many other minerals, where there is a heap available, the overburden material. So the whole economy cycle is going to be, better, and more than that, it is going to help the circular economy, this overburden material. So that's where Hailstone innovations come, and we have worked in all these, areas. It's not only producing aggregates, it's not only producing sand. We have also gone for sea sand conversion, and many years ago, not today, many years ago in Kerala and Middle East, we have already done, plans and projects in terms of converting the sea sand to a sand which can be used for construction purpose. We have done dam mining. That's another interesting area in terms of innovation, other than the overburden and other than the, sea sand conversion. Dam mining is nothing but India has more than 3,600 dams. And out of 3,600 dams, almost 70 to 80% are more than 50-year-old. And if it is 50-year-old, there is always a sludge and silt available. Almost 50% of the, the level is filled with the waste material. When there are huge rains, even today, now we have a huge rain which is happening in Chennai, and heavy floods are happening. So what are the main reasons? See, either you cannot create a water body, you cannot create a dam. It takes years to create a dam. But existing dam, if you do a mining, if you do the, the sludge removal and the silt removal, and you are going to use it for a purpose of sand or aggregates or landfill material, or the clay which is used for brick making, or other activity, construction purpose activity. Number one, your 50% capacity you are increasing for your dams or your reservoir. And second is you are improving the quality of the water which is stored. Number three is the life of the dam or the life of the reservoir improves, because the material what is available inside the water is causing the weight on the walls of the dams and the banks of the reservoir. So when it is removed, and if it is going to be only water, it is not going to cause the damage on the walls. And over and above all this is, somebody goes for a swimming, or getting into some water sport activity, there is always a chance that if they get sunk into the sludge or the waste, then for them to come out is very difficult. So looking at all these angles, this doing a dam mining, we have done a successful 2 projects of dam mining in Kerala. One is Walayar Dam, and the other one is Meenkara Dam. So again, coming back to the innovations, one is the overburden material converted to sand. The other one is a sea sand conversion to sand. The third one is dam mining and producing the aggregates. So that's where I want to say that Hailstone innovations means we are not just producing a product, we are not just into the market of construction equipment business, but we also do a lot of innovations which help the the entire not just the country but even the social society.
Fantastic. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. I mean, I never realized that overburden can be reused
Yeah.
for producing M sand. How many of such projects you have already done?
We have done one project at the moment because this overburden material itself, last 2, 3 years only, it has come to limelight, and the court and the governments have given directions that overburden material, at least 20% of the overburden material can be used, recycle the economy, and make it for use purpose. So it's just the beginning, and we have put a pilot plant. Very proud to tell that we are the one and only Indian company to give a complete solutions. There are a couple of other projects, either it has been done by a foreign company, number one, or it has been done by a couple of companies together. But Hailstone Innovations is the one single Indian company. The entire bandwidth, we have given a solution. This has been done in Western Coalfield for our client called Caliber Mercantile, and it is very successfully running for almost an year now, or close to an year now. This place is called Chandrapur.
Oh, okay. So this is part of the WCL project.
Yes, exactly, the Western Coalfield project.
Oh, okay. So there the overburden you are removing and converting into usable M sand.
Yes, not only M sand, also you get the small aggregates, you get the landfill material. So
Oh, yeah.
I always say there is nothing called waste as long as you have a
Yes.
solution for the waste. When you don't
Uh,
have a solution for the waste, then it is called waste.
I mean, this is triggering some thoughts because having worked in Wittgen, having seen recycling, um, so
Road milling material you're talking about.
yes, what you're
Yeah.
doing about that?
Yeah, we are also working on it. Currently, we have a screen which is ready with us, the track screen or a mobile screen, what we have. And that screen is interesting. It's not just only for aggregates or your milling material and grading and using it for different applications. It can be used for biomass waste, bio waste. It can be used for the municipal waste or anything. It's basically a screening. So
Hmm.
it's going to segregate, different sizes. It's going to take the mud out. It is going to take the bigger particles out. It is going to take the metal particles out. It
Mhm.
can be also used in, construction, demolition,
Sites.
activities also, where the wires and copper and the iron particle can be removed, and only certain level of stones which can be reused. The size of the stones can be graded and segregated, and it can be given it for the construction purpose again. So again, I mean, answering your question or your point, yes, for the road milling also, yes, we have a solution.
Very good. So Hailstone is actually into a lot of things. It's not just one manufacturer. Is into a lot of innovation, as you rightly said.
Yeah,
And
that's what
I
I
think
always say in the
that's the
simple,
need
simple
also.
line: crushing, screening, washing, mining, recycling solutions.
Fantastic. That's a tagline.
Yeah, that's a tagline. That,
Great. Excellent. So now moving on, would you like to give little overview of your network in India and across the world?
yeah, like I told you, 1994 we started, and we have four plants at the moment. The Palakkad plant is the largest one, where we do the assembly, testing, and supply. We have been growing, fastest growing company, especially in the construction equipment and particularly into the crushing segment in the last couple of years. We have grown, more than 30% year on year growth, whether it is in 21 or in 22 or in 23. Even for the next year also, we are poised to, grow more than 50% kind of a growth, ambitious plans, thanks to the government and the infrastructure projects, number one. Number two is the global reach, which is happening for India. So that's also another reason. And currently, we have about close to around 30 sales team across pan India at different states and different places in India. And we have about close to around 22 dealers in India, and about a dozen, 12 dealers abroad, particularly in Southeast Asia, South Asia, then Africa, Middle East. So these are the places, even in Russia and Brazil and South America, all these kind of places. We have our dealership networks. So all the going is very good. In the last couple of years, the team size has expanded, and the network is also increased in the reach. The reach has increased both pan India as well as global, and the market also looks promising with the stable governments. Both in state and central, number one. Number two is the policies in terms of infrastructure, the growth activities, whether it's a new airport coming up or a new road coming up. And we have the Guinness records, happening in India in terms of the infrastructure creation. It's one of the very marvelous situation. I think we are on a joyride at this moment.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity, and I'm sure Excon 2023 is going to also bring a lot more onto the table. So let's now understand about your plans for 2023 Excon. What kind of products you're going to put on display? How many of them are there?
Yeah.
And are you going to display something special, something new also in the upcoming exhibition?
Yeah, Excon basically, and Asia's largest construction equipment expo, and definitely the India's largest, and happening year on year. And this is the 12th edition. Coincidentally, 12th edition happening in the month of 12th. That is December, and the starting day is 12th.
Oh, yes. You got it. I think 12, 12, 12, all 12.
12, 12, 12. So probably everything falls in place, and then, it looks numerologically, and, it's a very positive sign. So the hopes are big. And we also pray the weather god to support both, for all the exhibitors and for all the visitors. We need the blessings from the weather god. So that's what is going to. Of course, we know the traffic, and we know the other situations which we are ready and we are prepared, and which can be handled. But certain things beyond your control cannot be, handled. So that's where we put our prayers. But otherwise, everybody are very positively looking at the Excon. And for Hailstone, Excon is a very, very major event. A lot of energy, time, and money goes in terms of preparations, in terms of launching products, in terms of mobilizing all our resources, pooling all our entire team. And we would be having close to about 100 people in our, two stalls. Strategically, we have taken two stalls. Of course, it's because of space and, various other reasons also. So one stall is OD8, that is outdoor 8, and the other one is OD43. So both stalls are outdoor stalls. So we'll have, equipments, close to about 10, 11 large equipments are going to be put on display. And out of the 10, 11, almost 50% is going to be a new product or a new launch. And the new launch, which is according to the market trend and the market need. Today, the market needs more of a mobile equipment. Why the mobile equipment is basically you need a mobile plant like a wheel mount, a tire mount plant, or you need a track mount plant. The simple reason being is the speed today. What is happening? In terms of the size of operations the companies want to operate, it's getting large. in terms of, somebody wants to do a 60-kilometer road, somebody wants to, build an airport within an, such a like Jawar airport, or, certain kind of large airports coming up, or the, bridges and tunnels and railway network. So even the government claims that, per day they have, kept on increasing the length of the road laying or the rail laying, all this. So the to match the speed and to match the mobility, we have launched various products, the mobile equipments. I think that's going to be the order of the day. So people wanted to keep the equipment in one place, finish, and then move to another place. So it's very agile, and it's going to be very flexible to the operator or the customer. Number one. Number two is mobile equipments are quickly commissionable. You can you take it to the place and you commission it in a day, or within a couple of days you are able to commission the equipment. If it is going to be a stationary equipment, it takes 20 days, 25 days to commission an equipment. And the third most important thing in the positive side of the mobile is basically when you are relocating and plant, when you are removing the old crusher or the cone or the VSI or the screen or any of the equipments, there is always a possibility of 20% to 25% of a some kind of a damage, either in removing it or relocating it or transporting it happens. So in a project of a 5 crore, in a 6 crore, you imagine about 20% if there is going to be damage, which is going to be about a crore. So it's a huge amount. So looking at all this, if somebody is having a large mine and they want to move it from one location to another location, the customer prefers for a mobile equipment. So that's where the focus. I'm not just talking of Hailstone. In general, also the industry is getting into more into mobile and the track equipments or the wheel mount equipments. So we are also going the same way, and we were the pioneers to launch the first ones to launch the wheel mounted a complete two-stage plant. Of course, to my knowledge, I have not seen any of the competitors having a complete two-stage plant in one chassis in one go, where you can go and erect a plant itself in one single chassis, which has the screen, which has the jaw, which has the cone. The complete plant is available in one chassis, single chassis. So this was launched last Excon. And now there are certain upgraded versions. There are higher capacity versions also coming up in this Excon.
What is the range of capacity you have on those mobile equipment?
We have two capacities basically when it comes to a wheeled mobile plant. It's called Smart JHF 150 and Smart JHF 230. So that means it's approximately for 150 ton capacity, and the other one is close to for a 230 ton capacity approximately. So that's the two sizes, which is the maximum allowed as per the the weight, the road transport conditions, the turning radius. That's the reason. That's actually the restriction point. Otherwise, we can even go for a much bigger size. But looking at all the other ergonomics point of view, so we need to restrict to the 150 and 200 plus tons capacity.
But by and large, the crusher
200
market
plus
is...
tons capacity per hour.
Yes, that I understand. So by and large, the industry is also operating in that range, isn't it? I mean, most of the plants are in
The
that
industry
range.
has moved to 200 plus. See, earlier it was, up to 200 was the kind of a size of plants. But if you go for a stationary plant, people are, going for 300, 350 kind of a stationary ton per hour plant they are going. And when it comes to mobile, people are moving towards, we have orders in Africa, we have orders in other, other parts of the country, including India. There are even rental companies, very interesting. We have a couple of our customers who are, continuously buying these machines and putting on rent. because this is going to help if you look at the rental business in India itself is very less compared to global scale, number one.
Mm.
Number two is you look at a construction industry, the rental business is even low. I'm talking of the, especially our crusher industry. But this kind of equipments, the mobile equipments, the wheel plants, helping the rental companies to, go for these products to rent it out.
So in India, amongst the crusher making companies, of course, couple of them, in fact, three of them are probably multinationals, and
Yes.
balance of them are the national players. And your industries, I mean, the crushing industry is actually highly dependent on the government policy with respect to infrastructure investment and things
Yeah.
like that. So what is the overall number in terms of the market for the calendar year or for the financial year? How
You
those
if you
industry
ask
numbers?
what's the total market size, the market size is approximately about 11,000 crores or 12,000 crores. That's a kind of a market size. I'm talking of the entire bandwidth of all the
Mm,
products put together.
yes.
It's not just only the crushers alone. All the products put together. 11,000 to 12,000 crores is the kind of a market what we have in domestic, and there is some exports also happen, because that number I'm not able to segregate out, because there should be at least about minimum 10 to 15%, especially the companies what you mentioned, the multinationals, maybe they do more of exports, but otherwise you look at the domestic players, there the exports are always between 10 to 15%. So if you remove that out of the 10 to 15%, then there is at least about 9,000 to 10,000 crore. There is a potential clearly available in the Indian market. And there are, 4 or 5 multinationals who are having a strong foot in India. And there are large companies of Indian companies are about 4 or 5, and Hailstone is one among them. Other than that, there are a lot of local players, and there are regional players who are restricted to certain regions, certain pockets, and small size crushers. I'm talking of 50 ton below per hour. So that's also a sizable market. So looking at all this, there are about clearly about 15, 16 predominant players in the country who are dominating in this field, and the industry is growing. I think the industry average growth rate, if you ask me, is close to double digit.
Very
Close to
good.
double digit, maybe 9-10% at least. That's what it's growing, better than the Indian GDP. And the individual companies also, like our company had a 30% growth last year. This year we should have close to around 55 to 60% growth this year. So next year also we plan to grow more than 50%. So you look at this, there is ample space available, and the market is supporting. And what you rightly mentioned is the government policies, and these are all very important factors. That's
Agreed. I
what.
think going forward, ESG is going to be very, very important
Yes.
all across all the departments, and as well as all the major companies. We
Yeah.
like to have a good ESG score. I think
Yeah.
that will definitely push your concept, I mean,
Absolutely.
industry concept of MSAT, so to
Yes.
speak.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, now moving on, I just also wanted to understand how you are, when you say 30% growth over last year, 50% next year you're planning, what has been the USP vis-a-vis the 14 other players in the market, which is giving an edge over to you for Hailstone?
See, the USP has been the innovations.
Mm.
Our company name itself, suggesting innovations. So others don't dare to enter into certain segments, or don't dare to complete a project, or that's where we get in we step in boldly, and we have the advantage. Number one, the very young talents and young force. The average age of the company is 29. Though the
Fantastic.
company is 29 years old, and I always call I'm the oldest man in the company. Probably I'm close to the double the age of the average. But otherwise, even our managing director is he's less than 50, and then the very young team we have. So this helps us the very flexible and very quickly we are able to do the innovations. And okay, innovations always have some hurdles in the process, where you need to quickly resolve. You need to bring in certain changes according, because you cannot envisage everything. So whenever we have done this kind of innovative projects, there was a need for quick to change, quick to bring in a new product, or introduce a new product. And since the company is a one person owned company, it becomes very easy for the decisions. So decisions across the table, if we decide that very quickly we take the decisions and move forward. So these are all the kind of USPs helps us. And more than that, what we promise, we are able to deliver. Okay.
Mm.
I'm not talking on the delivery time. Delivery time is always, which is linked with the finance, because 99% of all our supplies are always linked with some kind of finance from external, particularly banks or NBFCs or something like that. Or,
Mm.
customers also need a lot of government clearances. So the
Mm.
timelines on the projects may not go as per the schedule for whatsoever reasons, but the commitment in terms of what output you get, what kind of quantity you get, what is the flow, and we always look at what the customer wants. So we ask the customer very clearly that what's the saleable material for you. If it is 20 stone, if it is 12 stone, and if it is only the sand, and that too, what grade of sand or what level of sand you want, what size
Mm.
of sand you want. Okay, we try to give more output from our products, so that we accordingly we design. And I have seen the competition or the market. They are trying to push the product. They are trying to sell the product. They're going on a discount, or they're going it on a commercial manner, but they fail to understand what the market wants, and what exactly the size, what is the demand, and according to the demand. So we are very, very clear. I think probably this is one of the very unique USP Hailstone has, and that is where you can see that okay, the market has realized the potential of the Hailstone, and that has helped us to grow. It's not the company suddenly becomes a big company, or it's growing, or we are pumping money, or no, the market really understood that okay, this company is understands the market need, it understands the customer need, it meets the market demand, it gives the production what exactly required. And the agility to change in case okay, today the 20 size, there is no market, but I need a 40 size. Then quickly you are able to move, you are able to change, you are able to help the customer and support them. So these are all the USPs have helped Hailstone to grow as one of the fastest growing companies.
Fantastic. And most of the crushing companies, I mean, the equipment manufacturers, they also get into some kind of maintenance contract or operation contract. So is it something which you also do for all of your
Yes,
customers?
in the past we were not doing it, but now the market needs, and then we also have gone into the AMCs and life cycle managements, PLM, product life cycle management. So we are also getting into it, and many of the companies want to be asset light, and many of the large players wanted to be completely. Offload this thing to the contractor, so that only the production per ton output they need. So we are also geared up, and we are already doing it. and it's going to be the order of the day. In future, it's going to be that what's the output which you give, and according to that, you're going to get the price.
So it's like the per ton basis, something
Yes,
like that.
per ton basis.
Okay, good, good. Great. I think we have kind of covered most of the topics which I thought of covering. And any last words on any specific innovation which we are going to witness in Excon 2023?
Yeah, the capacities, of the machines which we are challenging, and we are launching some products which are going to be the first of its kind in the industry. Already we have launched a certain very large size of cones. I told you we have launched mobile equipments. The first one to launch a complete plant on a wheel. So we are again, innovating and coming out with slightly a larger models, slightly an upgraded version, and so this kind of challenges are already taken by Hailstone, and you will visit us, and I request all of you, all of the viewers, and including you, Dr. Mishra. I want you to come and see the innovations. Seeing is believing. That's what makes a difference. So where you can see what are the displays Hailstone has made, and then whatever I have talked, have we walked the talk? So that will be the whatever told in this 1 hour discussions. We can show it lively, and welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. It would be great pleasure for me to be physically present and see both the stalls, outdoor stalls, which you mentioned, and
OD8 and
looking for
OD43.
OD8 and OD43. And is there any segregation in terms of, okay, OD8 will focus on this and
So
43 will...
that's also the part of the launch, so which will be announced.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So that's where we have very very well laid out and very clearly planned the captains, and very equally divided teams, so that the country wise, the region wise, how the balance to be taken place between the stalls, and how virtually connect these stalls. So all that, these are also something which is unique, and
Right.
probably I have not seen any of the companies taking two stalls and then connecting the two stalls, and okay, they might have indoor, they might have outdoor, but in outdoor itself, two exhibits. So this is also an innovation.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so
So
you have taken this as an opportunity rather than a challenge.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
That's very interesting. Very positive way of looking at life.
Yes.
And that's I think that's probably the DNA of the organization as well. So I'm eager to look forward to seeing you and your organization, your stalls in Bangalore in person. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mishra. Thanks for CE podcast and all the OneServe viewers, and welcome you all to the Hailstone stall at OD8 and OD43 in Excon, starting from 12th December to 16th December. See you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.